Welcome to the Land of Bet Sports Betting Live Show. Already got Ty in on time. How you doing today, bro?
Whew. I'm having a day. It's Monday. Got crushed on prop last night, and so it's a great day to have a day.
Gotta find a better way to start our week than losing on a Sunday. I'm gonna tell you that too. I completely agree. We were saying it's the Lord's Day, man. You can't be messing up like that. But we're gonna get back into a 5-game slate. I'll be just brutally transparent off top. Like, it's tough for me to like dive into this slate and start betting a ton of stuff after a rough Sunday where I'm like, the confidence needs to kind of get back up to full here. How are you looking on today's slate? Do you have a couple things down already?
I do. But Josh, I want to ask you this first. So obviously big into projections and stuff. How much, what like balance do you have between like, what you said with like the confidence thing, right? It's like, yeah, like you're coming off of like a quieter day or whatever. And it's like, you're a little hesitant to let stuff rip, but like, how much are you just like, no, my projections say this, like I'm riding with it here.
Yeah, well, you kind of need to start with like how do you use the projections? How much do you use them? Do you just like blindly follow them? Do you use them as like a starting point? Do you use them to validate stuff that you already think? I think those are kind of the two best ways to use it, right? So it's rarely going to be like, oh, the model says this, just blindly bet it. But there are some things that we're actually working on in the background to sort of just be able to, this dashboard and the whole interface is going to change so that it's a little bit more of a dashboard and not just like a chart to be able to filter through. And so with that, you're going to be able to see things like who's got the highest differential between the projection that we have and the market price, for instance, right? And so once you start getting an edge of like 3 to 4 points or assists or anything like that, you've got to at least look into it and then see if it does something for you. I need a fucking spa day. Excuse my French. Like, I just told you not to cuss too much on screen. And then I go right into it. I just need a massage and like to just not think about basketball for a day. I don't think I'm going to bet too much tomorrow. I'm just going to root for the Knicks to win the cup because I love them that much, and then move on from there tomorrow. But today there is some stuff that I at least want to get into, and I know we've already got some people that are bringing up some bets in the chat. So does that answer your question though? Like, I'm never going to blindly follow it, right? Yeah, we're just going to be looking for like. Sometimes we'll find those big projection differentials and we'll go from there. But
then you go from there and then you're like, okay, I do agree with this play.
Pretty much. Yeah. Or I'll be like, wow, I love this play because I found it a different way. And then I'll kind of compare it to see what the model thinks in that sense. But it's being a little bit revamped, like I said. So I'm going to be happy to show that on screen a lot more and show you these edges that the model is presenting rather than just have to find it yourself. So, but for now, yeah, I'm still using some of the matchup stuff here. I'm at least using like recent lines and stuff like that to at least get some starting points. So we got 5 games on the slate. I think some people like what we got today, but I'm gonna get the chat going up. Let's start with where you're at, my guy, and see if there's anything you want to start. You can go to any game. We could go all over. We can start wherever you want. I really don't care.
Okay, so my favorite play is kind of crap. Now let's go over to Houston, Denver, and I want to see if this line is still playable. Okay, it's a little bit juicy. There's like a points and assists line that I really like, a points line. So Jabari Smith, I did take him over 14.5 points. If you have like 365 MGM, I believe that there's a 16.5 PA there. It looks like it's 15.5. I think that's still fine. But yeah, Josh, if you go to like head to head against the Nuggets this year, he took 20 shots in 37 minutes and had like a 28% usage rate. So basically, reason behind that is like they really loaded up on Sengun and KD, like KD pick and roll, getting blitzed, KD driving, gap help, Sengun post up, Jokic just sitting in the double, and yeah, so Jabari just got a ton of shots out of that, and I'm honestly I don't really have much else to say behind that. He took 20 shots last time. Nuggets get a ton of catch and shoot stuff. So
you don't even feel the need to go deeper than that. I love Jabari because of the stuff you're talking about, which is like the focus on other people on the Rockets. I love the usage that he's been showing. I do got to point out that Tari is still questionable, and that's definitely the guy that splits minutes with him. Did you consider that at all here?
I did, yes. And I do agree with that. Like, instead of like, I think he's been playing like 36, 37, maybe you have him at like 33 or so. I do think that he mostly, because Aaron Holiday has a line listed, and I wonder if he even plays if Tari's back. And same with Okogie, right? I think that he's mainly going to eat into them. But no, you're definitely right. Definitely going to eat a little bit in there. But
I mean, it still adds up. So like, I don't know how much Tari is coming back. I just have to be a little bit cautious when I do see that, just because I know that those are the two guys kind of coming in and out for each other. But it still also makes sense that like you can have them on the floor at the same time, and that other guys like definitely Holiday would start to be the guy that, like you said, it would just be the Adams and Eason and Shepherd bench play, and then you wouldn't have much from Aaron Holiday. So I can completely see that. And like, it's such an interchangeable lineup because there's so many tall dudes on the lineup. You can bring in whomever you want, whenever you want, still have just sort of the fluctuating. So if you give to like, rather than do it with Tari, to the point that you're making, if you were just to like look at his like points and assists, for example, in games where he's playing, like, let's give him like 30 to 34, just to be a little bit on the relatively cautious side for a minute. You're gonna look at this about 16.8. I think then what you're looking at too is like, if you think the matchup is a bump for him because of how it was played last time, which I saw the same things you saw. I also saw him guarding Boo Boo. I also like the rebounds for him. That's kind of like my preferred bet for him, because of the fact that who he was guarding last game. So he started the game on Aaron Gordon. I would never take his assists or rebounds if he was guarding Aaron Gordon. His matchup is Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is a way better rebounder than Jabari Smith and just a big boy. But when Aaron Gordon left in that last game, he played 3 minutes in that last game and then got hurt. And now you're talking about Tim Hardaway Jr., Spencer Jones, and Cam Johnson as the guys like eating up Aaron Gordon minutes. And that's Jabari. That became Jabari Smith's matchup, and I love that. He's just playing guarding guys who are standing off in the corner, so he's just chilling on the baseline, waiting for boards, and not having to do much else, right? Like Cam Johnson and Peyton Watson and all those guys. So I like everything you're saying about Jabari, and I agree that the matchup is relevant here because it's how they played him that really helps us get to a Jabari Smith bet. So I'm with that one. I want to see if there's any. Did you have anything else in this game? I want to see if there's anything else people are talking about in this game.
No, like I said, though, I'm fully endorsed Sengun unders, fully endorsed KD unders. I didn't know which one to choose between, but like I do fully endorse both of those.
Yeah, fully. So Swish is in the chat. He's powering all of this, man. All the projections and everything up on landyourbest.com and the Swishland model, all that. So if you see him in the chat, definitely feel free to hit him up. Definitely a little bit worried about some of the rotation for Houston. I think, like I said, I still like Jabari to add the boards. And I do want to bring this up because I think it's a good point from Diaz, which is like trends are based on past results and not a good indicator of future performances. I agree to a degree with that sentence, right? Like, because when you're saying that they're not a good indicator, they can be. I think they can be a good indicator of future performances. And the reason that this Jabari Smith one adds up to me to that is because of the way that Denver plays him and who he is responsible for guarding now that he doesn't have Aaron Gordon on the floor alongside him. So that stuff does help. And like, you're totally right to bring that up, Diaz. So I appreciate the thought there. There is some stuff here that does help me use the Bass performance to sort of project what's going to happen in the future a bit, but bit of conjecture still. So we'll see what happens. We got a Şengün look here, which is over 20.5 points. Interested in Hot Sauce too. If you have any thoughts, if you guys drop bets in the chat, we definitely want to see them. Just let me know a little bit about what you're thinking. Just send us off in the right direction of like why you like what you might like there. So do you have any thoughts on Şengün in general, the points and everything? I can pull it up real quick. I know I'm just tossing to you to stall for myself. I'll say that, but any thoughts on Şengün for a minute?
Yeah, I'm under nothing personally with Sengun. I don't think Jokic is like really like a good matchup. Denver's scheme recently has been like first of all they play a lot of zone, and they will play some Jonas and Jokic together, especially if the Rockets themselves go double bigs, which is just going to be zone and stuff, which isn't good for Sengun. But no, they allow like the lowest shot frequency from less than 10 feet, like by like a wide margin recently, and just looking back at some of the game film from last time, it's like a lot of doubles, man. Jokic honestly does a pretty good job of walling him up too. Like he's can kind of absorb those back downs. So I'd probably lean under.
It's baby Şengün or baby Jokic versus Jokic. Like you're gonna take Papa Jokic over baby Jokic, right? In that matchup. So I totally agree. And I think Swish was bringing up the point too that he's a little bit worried about Şengün. Really tough matchup with Denver, and could totally see them focusing. And that's what Ty just said, right? Is like they're going to focus on Şengün like they did last time. They're focusing on two guys, which is KD. Because you look at this and you go, oh my, he took 15 shots in this game. What, like Peyton Watson was doing it? And then you go back and look at his shot attempts. And it's like, no, it was the fact that Peyton Watson's getting a ton of help from everybody. And the focus is on him because Ahmed Thompson can't shoot threes. And I'm okay with Josh Okogie shooting threes, who's probably going to be in the starting lineup. So yeah, there's some weaker spots that you can find to leave guys open. It's not KD or Şengün. So I probably would stay away. I agree with everything being said there. There was a Peyton Watson look that got brought up too. I just think we got to bring up P. Watt, and I do want to see what Swish said about P. Watt. I think he said he actually liked that matchup too. I was just looking at the thing here. I lost it, but I know he did say it. Yeah, he says he's been loving the Peyton overs versus good opponents, and at 11.5 tougher matchup, this could be a grinder. So what he's saying here is a good point to bring up too, as we bring up our boy, where'd P. Watt go? So for Peyton Watson, right? He's at 11.5 points. The market has basically, if you look at all his closing stuff, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5. You get my point here, right? The last 5 of 6 or 7 of 8 have been 12.5 points that he's closing at. He's playing various teams in that time frame that are good and bad. Kings suck. Hornets suck. Hawks good. Pacers suck. Mavs pretty good on defense. So you see my point here is like there's varying good and bad defenses, but he's at 12.5 the whole time. Well, now he's got a good matchup at 11.5, and that's why it's 11.5. By good matchup, I mean good team. Hard matchup to play against. So like if this was a like 10.5, 9.5, then even though it's up against a good team, you feel good about Peyton Watson. But it's at a number that makes sense. There's no real edge, right? If it was 11.5 against the Kings, we hit that. 11.5 against the Pacers, we hit that because they're bad teams, and that number is just low enough for us to hit. So you got to look at the closing market numbers a lot to feel like you have a good read on, is this number too high or is this number not high enough? And that's going to help you get there with it. So Peyton Watson against a good defense, and he's relying on a ton of like getting to the rim. This is one of the top rim defenses in the league. They're not going to give up putbacks or offensive rebounds too much, right? So yeah, I'm not feeling as good about P. Watt in this one. Even the boards are, they're all the way down at 4.5. And this has always been 5.5 for him every line because he's playing worse teams. But now you get a good team. So kind of out on P. Watt as well. But and then we got a Jokic rebounds look. We got a lot of look. This is like probably the best game of the night. So we should at least spend some time on it. Your thoughts on Nikola Jokic, the world's greatest basketball player?
Yeah, if there's so I don't see any under 12.5 rebounds line, but if that exists, like 100%, I think that's a
okay, it's not there.
I mean, well, anyone who has like a high line, a higher than their median line against the Rockets, just like take the under for rebounds because they're going to run a lot of too big and just like dominate the glass here probably. But Jokic, I think Jokic is interesting. So, well, you were talking about Peyton Watson last time. So I was on Chris Dunn over points against the Rockets last time because they played last year and they kind of left him wide open. And they did leave him wide open. Yeah. So Peyton Watson, they didn't do that with him last time, but I wonder if they do. You know, Peyton Watson is a guy who you don't care about shooting, and he didn't take a 3 against the Rockets last time, which is really weird because Ime won't do that. So look, at the end of the day, 28.5 points with like an undermanned Nuggets team is basically just asking Jokic to try. And, you know, this should be a spot where he has to try. So that's just what you want with Jokic. So I think that's fair.
It's so true. I've been saying that for years with Jokic. Here's what I want to know for Jokic in this game. Does he need to score? If he doesn't, he probably won't. It's just that simple. Because you're not going to find even anything like if we do without Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown and look at those games, 29.5, 29.3. Jokic supersedes everything that we could talk about. There's no matchup unless you decide you're going to put 3 guys on him. Then we'll talk about it. But like other than that, it's going to be whatever he wants. And they're going to show you that they're not going to double team. They've shown that a ton. What are his assists versus this team in the last game? He had 9 on 18 potentials. They don't leave spot ups, right? Like they're the number 3 spot up defense or whatever. So yeah, I don't know how you get there with an under on the points. As far as the boards go, it's not 12.5 anymore. It makes sense to limit him, right, and where he's playing against them and everything. But 11.5 against the Rockets. To your point, it's still recent numbers would show you that it's an under. I still think he's a 12 a night guy, so like it's tough to suggest that for him. I think Cam J is still a good under. This is the one that I'm eyeing right now. It's up at 21.5. This was as low as 19.5 recently. So people have bet this up basically for Cam Johnson. I mean, simply put, like it's just the worst defense in the league for him to go up against, essentially this team and maybe like the Magic or something like that. But for spot up guys, this is just not going to get it off, right? Like this is going to be a team that just doesn't double team. That's why they give up way more on the sort of pull up and the pick and roll ball handler than they do to the spot up and stuff like that. So that's where I'd be leaning for the under here. Cam Johnson, like don't like his stuff against the Rockets with everybody out, but that's my favorite look in this one. And then before I move on from this game, just because Reed Shepherd is up, do you have any thoughts on him? It's starting to get like really crowded in Houston, so I'm starting to you're starting to lose me on well, by crowded I just mean like Tari Eason being back and Okogie starting over him. So with both those guys healthy, if Eason is back, then that definitely cuts into Shepherd to me. I don't have anything for him, but it is low if you were interested in it.
I agree. I think it's you can sell me on, if you're a role player on Houston, you can sell me on it. I think that Reed makes sense. I know Reed had like a hell of a game against them last time.
Right, that's right. This was the Reed Shepherd game. That's right.
Yeah. But no, I agree. Minutes are dicey. They've been dicey. Like he had games with like 20 minutes, 21 minutes.
Right.
Now Easton's back.
Right.
He's kind of a tough read, to be honest.
This is the problem right here is these like 20, 21 minutes and like 23. Got 31 against the Jazz because they won by 28. And they're like, go ahead, Reed. You get some minutes still. But his role has fluctuated, and you just have to find the moments where he's playing high 20s, low 30s. And now he's back down to like potentially anywhere from 20 to 26. Like can't really get there with Reed in a close game despite the matchup. But it was the Reed Shepherd game last time. Let's keep rolling then. We got people looking at other games. Do you want to take us to a different game if you have something? I think Celtics Pistons would be good if you had anything for it. But if you don't, we can go wherever.
Yeah. I unfortunately don't have anything for the early games tonight. I don't really like betting on either of these teams, to be honest. I don't know why.
Pistons and Celtics.
Yeah. It should be good.
I can offer you a reason why you don't like to. I mean, for one thing, like we have this understanding about how Detroit plays defense, and it should be to stop exactly this type of player. They're sixth in pull-up defense. This dude is taking all his shots off pull-ups. Half of them are off the pull-up. And then the other like 40%, he's going to the rim. Like he shouldn't be good against this team. And he's averaging 37 a game in the 2 this season, taking a lot of shots and being efficient sometimes. So it's tough. They're really good. They got everybody back, so it's crowded. Pritchard looks like he's officially in. He lost his questionable tag, but yeah, my favorite play in this one, I think someone brought it up earlier, and I brought it up in the episode last night. I still like this at 11.5 for Jalen Duren. There's a little bit too much matchup stuff probably baked into my love of this, and 11.5 has been pretty fair for him over the last like 4 or 5 games. Has not been I don't really have a good reason for why he hasn't been getting rebound chances. Honestly, fouls haven't been there. The minutes have been in the like mid 20s. I don't know. Played 24, going to blowout win over here against Atlanta. So like sometimes his minutes just scare me. That'd be the only reason to stay away from Duren. But 11.5. This opened at 10.5 too, I think. So it's probably gone. I'm gonna see. I think people has a look at Brown and White under assists, which I understand the thinking against. What is this? The like number 1 assist defense, number 2 assist defense. Yeah, probably yeah. Number 1 assist defense, so that makes sense. 3 on 13 potentials for Derek White last game, though, against the squad, and then 3 on just 2 potentials in the next game. I tend to like not care that much, but like if you can, it's just a guard. Yeah, they're going to limit guards. Number 1, I could see it. 4.5, you're starting to get pretty dicey for a guy who averages 5 on the year, but you get plus money under 4.5 if you bake the matchup in enough. I could probably justify it. Under 5.5 would be sick, obviously. And then for JB on the dimes, it's 5.5 and it's juiced to the under. Him head to head this season, 5 and like 9 and 6 potentials on the assist. So it would still tell you that that's a good look. If you can get I don't know if I would take minus 166 or worse, but I agree. I just don't have enough to like get me there with the under on that one. We can move off this game for a minute though, so that we can at least find some stuff that we like. I know people are like really looking at this game though. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Take me somewhere else though. I know it's true.
Let's go to Dallas and Utah. So I have 2 plays, both of them. Well, actually, I'm on Brandon Williams. I got an 8.5 points line, but that one honestly moved to 10.5. So I don't even think it's worth talking about. I saw someone. Yep, someone said Keontae 33.5 PRA. That's one that I'm on. It looks like it's at 34.5 now. But 23.5 points I think is a good look. Josh, if you want to go use Props Madness real quick, you hit advanced filter or hit more on the filters. Is that popping up for you? Yep. And then do win-loss margin. And then do games where the Jazz don't lose by 20 or more.
It's just funny that we have to do 20 or more.
Yeah.
Like, they suck. Now, it's a 2.5 point spread. I mean, you could probably justify getting this thing to like minus 10 and 10 on both sides for a minute too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's see that.
It's not going to hurt you, right?
No, looks
You're basically saying if he doesn't get his minutes just chopped up because they're down by 100 points, then he's going to score.
Yeah, well, it's also like you look at some of the teams that got killed by like Thunder like twice. Of course, you're not going over this number against OKC. The Knicks are super aggressive against top options. Houston, like Atlanta, even is pretty tough with Daniels and stuff.
You're saying the teams that blew them out. You're saying, right?
Yeah, but like all the teams
Yeah.
that blew him out were just like really good defenses too
Yeah.
in the first place. But he has 40 or more PRA in literally 8 straight games that they did not lose by 20 or more. so
Right.
he's doing pretty good, man. The Mavericks, like they pretty much play single coverage too. They don't really they're not going to do anything crazy to get the ball out of his hand. So
Yeah.
I think points are a good look. I played PRA at 34.5, but I'd probably just play points at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the scuttlebutt around Keontae George is just like, are the Jazz sure they don't already have the superstar that they should build around?
Yeah.
So I can totally see it for Keontae. It is definitely a high number, but like you said, like if you just believe where he's been at, and they shot it up against the Mavs too, they gave him a much better time against other teams. Is there someone missing? I guess Nurk is missing. If that matters, that might matter. That might bump him up a bit.
Yeah, I don't
Dude,
know.
Nurk's at like 3 or 4 assists a game. Like, I think that's got to impact Keontae George. And also now it's like Filipowski's your center. So yeah, you better get in there and rebound Keontae. So I can see taking it all. Do you like the points better than the PRA, or PRA is actually the better play?
I'd probably go PR at this point. Like a 20, I like 27.5 PR. I think that's what I'd take right now. Because I like the assists when they were like a lot lower, but now you need them to get like 8 assists in that PRA line. Or is it 8 assists or is it 7?
That's 7 now. Yeah.
Okay.
Still 7.
I really just played 33.5 PRA because he was 40 plus in like the last game. I'm like, I gotta just capture it all.
If part of your read is this dude's gonna keep his minutes and usage high because they're not gonna lose by a gajillion points, then just take it all because he's gonna be out there, and so his usage will be high and his minutes will be high, and that's gonna lead to good stuff all around for a dude who has the ball in his hands more than anybody else on the team. So yeah, just take the PRA. I'm completely fine with that. And points at 23.5 just feels high when I talk about Keontae George playing with Lauri Markkanen. Feels like 21.5 is a much better points number by itself if you just want to play that. So I think it just, like you said, the usage is a thing. I know Swish is going to say his boy Filipowski. I only say his boy because he is originally from Utah. But Flip is going to be the guy who just, is this 8 board? That's 9 now. So 12.5, 9.5. The PR up at 21.5. And when he's played without Nurk and Kessler this season, how many games has it been? Just one. That Nets game, that was a good game. We took him on the PR in that one, mostly about the matchup. But without Kessler in general, tough on the points and rebounds. But he's been there. And if you're playing against the Mavs without AD today, then it's a pretty good look. And then I do think you have to mention like centers against the Jazz. They're just so freaking bad down low without Kessler. Go from like a top 5 defense down there to a bottom 5 essentially without him. So yeah, I would think that one of those centers does work in terms of Gafford or AD. Might be getting some Gafford sprinkled down there in just a minute. Anything else in this game from you?
Yeah, I don't really know. I will say AD, so he's questionable. I told yes, it's like an absolute cupcake matchup. I don't know, man. Just his calf injured again. Like I just don't like that, you know.
I know.
Which scares me a little bit.
No, I'm with you. It's okay to take unders because you don't like a guy's health. You don't think that he's likely to finish a game. Like taking Jalen Duren unders based on the idea that he's going to foul out. I'm fine with that. I'm always here for Grayson Allen unders because he might just randomly kick someone in the balls and then he gets kicked out because he's that type of player, little douche that he is. So yeah, like unders because you don't think a guy's like Joel under sometimes in the right spot. If you're like, who knows if he's going to finish the game? But AD, yeah, I can't really condone an over knowing that like if he just falls, it's just AD, man. He's just made of glass. That's all it comes down to. This boy's been hooping though. 21 points in December, 21 points per game for Cooper Flagg. I don't know if I can get there with now that we've got, again, like if you're looking at recent close numbers, some of this is low. Some of this is actually kind of low on the boards and such. I guess because you're still waiting on the AD or Gafford news, so that would be a part of it. Yeah, so I don't know if I can get there with much in that one. And other than that, like I get the Keontae look, I get the Filipowski look, and I get one of the centers on Dallas versus the Jazz. That would be where I'm at as well. So just gonna look for some other stuff. But yeah, if you want to take us anywhere too, I'm just looking through the chat for a minute.
Okay, let's go to Memphis and Clippers. I'll share a play, and then I also have like a very, very strong opinion on something, and I wonder if I'm actually gonna share my strong opinion one first.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I really like Aldama under 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Just if you go to like games without Edie, with Ja, and look, I know he started and played 36 minutes last game, but I just think that you actually kind of need Jock Landale to go back to that starting role against someone like Zubac. Like Jaren and Santi will get killed down low by Zubac. Like they won't be able to rebound. They will not be able to. Like they'll have to just like double him every single time and let him kick out to open stuff.
Yep.
I think that Jock makes more sense here. So
Yeah.
like this is kind of going on a hunch that he starts.
Yeah.
He takes the starting spot back. But yeah, the line just feels like a tad high for Santi, or maybe Santi just gets back to like those old minutes he was playing.
No, I agree with you. I mean, look, Jock Landale's not going to have a good time with Zubac. So you think Santi's going to have a good time with him? He's going to get slaughtered. Santi Aldama is basically just like a really good a good rebounding small forward is how I look at him. I know it says forward center. But yeah, he's just in that mold of like slow-footed, big, and can shoot. So they put him down low, but like not a great rebounder by any stretch of the imagination. So I can see that. Like 7.5 boards is always going to seem like at best fair, if not a good fade of Santi Aldama for his numbers. And then you talk about a rebounding, like a team that's tough to rebound against, especially down low. Then yeah, this makes a total sense to me. I think they're awful versus catch and shoot. So if you think the threes might fall for him, but then he's got to be on the court, with Zoo, Zoo doesn't want to come out there, but I doubt he's out there against Zoo as the only center very often, to your point. So I can definitely see the under on 25.5 makes a ton of sense there. I actually really like that a lot. Let me pull up these projections real quick. I haven't been pulling them up much, but let's start with Memphis for a sec. We do have Ja listed. He's in, right? He's officially playing, Morant?
Yes.
Yeah, because we have him listed in too, so I just want to make doubly sure. The minutes might not be what you even necessarily want to focus on, although there's just as likelihood that he plays 24 as he does 32 probably. I think like mid to high 20s is fair for Santi. And then we have him at 13, 15, about 22, let's call it, PRA here. I think you do have a good edge on the under, and this doesn't even consider matchup. Honestly, this is just considering like other guys are going to be in taking up minutes, and this Memphis rotation is just everybody, right? And so yeah, well, with the Clippers in town, I think this is that's a good look here for Santi on that one. Ja also a bit deflated, meaning that this is kind of low depending on how many minutes you think Ja is going to play. If you look at his points, 19.5 is low, 6.5 is probably pretty close, and 3.5 is pretty close. 6.5 is a little deflated too, just juiced. Any thoughts on starting to get up to 7.5? So his PRA is probably 30, 30.5. I can get there like with 29 to 30. I can get above on his PRA, and once you get to like 34, I love the under on Ja stuff. So I think that switch is right here to say that like. He's closed as high as 34, 35, 33, 37 versus the Mavs. If you expect him to play full minutes, and he just played 25 versus the Jazz. So that would be the only reason. Like if you think Ja, do we have any news on that by chance? You don't happen to know, do you?
No, we don't have any like underdog
like
reports that he's back or something, but
yeah, not like for minutes or anything like that. But
yeah.
No worries. Yeah, I think that the Ja stuff, if you get him to like 30, I think that makes total sense. And he was getting back up into the 30s. Let's say 28 to 32 for a sec. 28, and let's cap this at 32. Yeah, I think this has been 34.5 for a reason. So if he's playing 30 minutes, and this is absolutely a good over. And this closing number of 34, 35.5 makes sense when the expectation has been like this is 37, 36.5 when he's playing in these games that he's playing full minutes. So that makes total sense to me as well. Let me write these down for myself so I don't forget. I do think Jaws might be, if I can find any reason to get Ja to 30 minutes, then I'll bet the over 30.5 PRA. And then I love your Santi under look. I might hijack that, give you credit, but hijack that out of your hands. Santi 25.5 PRA. People helping people, man. We're all here helping each other. You know exactly. And then I had one other thought. I did like Jock's overs for the exact reason you said. I was like, it looks like they're pricing him as though he's not going to play like high 20s. But if you give him 24 to 28 minutes, I could get there with the points. This was 9.5 too. I also thought about fading the board just on the pretense that I'm so scared of Zoo that you can't do stuff down there versus him. But I'm with you on that. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if I'm going to bet on Jock. That was a thought. And the other one was Seti Coward, who I'm always down to bet on, but I don't know if I trust his minutes. Did you look at him at all?
I didn't. But if you want to go back to Jock rebounds, I actually agree with you. Like that 6.5, like he was starting in all of these games, right? Like just because I think he's going to start again, but I just think he's going to go back to being a starter. Like this line is crazy high against Zubac, in my opinion. Yeah. It should be like 5.5.
Yeah, I agree. I think against Zubac, that's why the under is definitely juiced. Interestingly, Pinnacle is the one that likes it the most for him, -112. So they actually like Jock's over more so on the boards than the under. But I don't know if I'm going to get there with it with Jock Howard. So anything, and that's the other thing is per minute beast. So if you do get him up in the mid 20s, high 20s, then I don't know if fading the boards is necessarily the play, but the points are something he can do in spades too. So then do we like anything for Zubac? Spooky, scary Oreo.
Yeah. I wonder what he opened up at. Because Memphis is like typically a really tough matchup, right?
Well, Edie's been a tough matchup for him.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought that would be like baked in a little bit, like the recent numbers have been good or something.
Yeah, I think I'm assuming they're correlating it to Zach Edey. So Zach Edey being out is actually bumping his stuff up, right? And they're not going to depress it at all.
Yeah. Well, it should. Like it absolutely should.
You know what? I think the book. We'll just give them some credit. People have gotten smarter. Things have gotten tougher. Yeah. There might have been a time not that long ago where no one considers who's playing. They just look at the versus team. But yeah, we know a little bit better now. So yeah, there's no value there, but I like the thought process getting to that angle if it was there. I just don't have anything on. Well, it's 11.5 now, so it actually. And it's 12.5. So it's hovering between the two. So you got to take 12.5 juice. I just don't like that position. And I usually prefer to play the lower number and just try to get the win with the worst odds if I can get 11.5. But couldn't even give this out because I wouldn't feel comfortable giving it out to people who might not be playing FanDuel or DraftKings, even though those are probably the two most popular. But yeah. For this one, I think that's all that I like. Always going to like Camp Spencer. He took everything from Vince Williams. He's just been hooping. Let the Spencers cook, like I said the other day, but 6 for 6, 25 minutes. Right. Yeah, not there with it. Do you want what game have we not even touched upon yet?
Miami, Toronto.
Right. Miami, Toronto. Is it because you don't have anything for that either? Or what do you think?
I really don't have anything for this game. I do have like a couple leans, and I don't know if this got corrected or not. I think, yeah, they did. I liked Shed. Shed, I think his points and assists was at 12.5. I really liked that under, but I think it's gone. So oh, actually,
yeah, they got 12.5 still.
Okay, he just wasn't doing great with actually no
IQ in.
Yeah, with IQ in. So I don't really know. Do you have any strong opinions on this game? I think these are
because this is what I was talking to Swish about earlier. Is like I want to bet on the pace that I think is going to be in this game with like Miami just keeping the pace going and then try to bet on some people for Toronto, but I never know how to bet on Toronto. I think Cody's in the chat. Happy to hear what you have to say about it, Cody, resident Toronto Raptors better from Toronto. So that helps. But I love Jamal Shed when he's playing without one of IQ or RJ Barrett for sure. But like, yeah, it's tough to get there with him, and the under would have been a nicer play against the Heat. But again, I'm kind of looking for overs. The thing about the Heat is as fast as they're playing, like this defense for Toronto has been really good as of late, and it's been really, really suffocating in all the right places on like team ball. So yeah, I don't have much for it. I don't know how Tyler Hero is still going to impact things. It's part of the reason why this slate is not as sexy as past slates have been. But I'll take a couple of looks in here and get back into it for this if we can. But Hero under assists, Wiggins threes. Let's just at least dig into some stuff real quick. So Hero is at 3.5 dimes, has not been diming at all. Has not had more than 4 potential assists in a game, to be fair as well. So it'd be really interesting if he got 4 assists on 4 potentials, but like that doesn't seem as likely. So I can see that if you believe that that's going to continue. That's just been past data. Again, I don't feel like I have enough on the like combo of Tyler Hero, Norm Powell, and all these dudes to like really make a play on it. So I think I'm good on that. Honestly, I expected this one to be a little bit shorter. It's 5 games, and there's not that much. Look, I'm not going to like force all these looks at this point when I just kind of did my work on the slate. A lot of people in the chat haven't been liking it either. So if you want to go over anything else, then I'm down. But hold on. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you because Cody did get back to me. I appreciate you, Cody. He likes Ingram over 5.5 boards. Been grabbing them a lot. He is crushing it, and Scotty been dishing it. So over 5.5 assists. IQ points. So he likes the Ingram boards, the Scotty dimes, and the points for IQ, which I can get next to. Just again, haven't really loved betting on the Raptors this season. So that's from your residential Raptors better though. So keep that in mind if y'all are interested. But yeah, do you have anything else you might want to bring up for the people?
Yeah, Josh, one thing that's like a little bit intriguing to me, I actually kind of think Davion's in an interesting spot. So if you want to go to his assists at 7.5 and then do with Bam, Wiggins, Hero, and Norm. So just like with because that's a starting lineup, right? And it's kind of just Davion surrounded by, do you want to do with Hero too? It's kind of just like Davion surrounded by scorers, right?
Yep.
So he's had really, really good assist numbers. I think his usage could be pretty good, right? Because they don't really run pick and rolls. It's kind of just like they're going at like whoever has like the best matchup. He's going to get guarded by Quickly, who is definitely the worst defender in that lineup. Obviously, he's going to get the worst defender most nights. But I don't know, man. Those assists kind of pop, especially when you're getting like 9 against Orlando, 10 against Detroit, 12 against the Clippers.
Peep those potentials. They go from 13 a game on the season to 18 and a half in those 4 games.
Yeah.
Against like the number 2 assist defense, the number 1 assist defense, and then whatever the hell these 2 crap defenses are. But yeah, top 2 defenses limiting assists. And then and this is what the stats have shown me when he's on court with those guys. If you go to like on off court with him and you put all these guys on court with him, he is at 10 assists per 36 minutes. And he's at like under 10 points per 36 minutes because he's not shooting. That's a big part of this as well as all these games. Like he got some points against the Clippers here, 6 of 6, 4 of 8, 2 of 8, 1 of 2. So he's taking like 7 shots a game. And if he doesn't hit 50%, he's not getting to 10 points essentially. Right. So yeah, I think that all adds up to just how he's being used as well, which is a big part of this. So yeah, I mean, the potential assist at 18 would tell you that like 9 is a very reasonable projection for him if he's maintaining that level of potentials. Just another good assist defense too. It's 7th best. Rangy dudes all over the court. Just makes me scared to bet on too much stuff over against Toronto anyway. But this could be a good look. Yeah. But you got your bets down anyway. I'm gonna keep looking for a couple things for the folks in the VIP if I can find an edge or not. I am happy to take a little break tomorrow, like I said, and then come back with a vengeance on Wednesday. For those of y'all paying attention to real quick who are in the VIP, like some things to expect. A little bit of a sort of like slump buster that I'm trying to use as a strategy is more volume, more bets, reduce the units a little bit, start to see the ball go through the net a bit and not worry about having to have such a high hit rate of wins on my bets as opposed to like, yeah, play some minus 140s, play some minus 150s, put half a unit on like 4 of them and like find some better wins. So you can, like I said, see the ball go through the net, like hit a free throw and then go ahead and you'll start to shoot threes again, essentially. But yeah, man, any parting words from you? You've got your show. You're going to have an episode tonight for the cup game.
Yep. For the cup game tomorrow, tune into that. I'll be doing like a full like in-depth breakdown on, just how I see the game playing out. So yeah, check me out at Straight Betting. Pretty similar stuff as Josh. So I think you'll probably enjoy it a little bit. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's I'm pulling that up here. Ooh, my boy, getting to 1,500 views. Ooh, damn. Okay. Did you see that yet? I've been peeping the growth. Yeah, it's been coming along pretty good. A while out of likes. Yeah, man. I also do like a giveaway. I do a giveaway every time that I have a positive day. So I think that helps with the comments and stuff. Whatever it takes, bro. You got to be found. Yeah. You got to get people to find you. Yeah, guys, go over to my channel and enter in that giveaway. I do. If I have a positive day, I give out $25 every day. Hell yeah. That's a great thing to do. I have to win, and then I can start giving stuff out too. But winning has to come first, and then I'll give y'all everything I can. But no, this is fire, man. I love the breakdowns. He's always got some good looks in there, and like you said, like he's just using this platform the right way. And like, there's not that many guys that I would really want to have on a show just because they have a YouTube channel or a Twitter account. But I appreciate the thoughts from Ty every time. So appreciate you, my man. I'll be on your show maybe this week if it works out for you. And we'll get another live. Yep. Love to run it on any channel, dude. Just fun talking hoops. Yeah, no doubt. All right. Appreciate everybody here. Like I said, I don't know if I'll have a cup game episode. I might go to the spa for tonight or tomorrow and then get back into it and just refresh here, get some cucumbers on my eyes. And then I'll be back. So I appreciate you guys. We'll be talking about this soon. Ooh, love this angle too. Got a former Raptor angle. The Raptors didn't want to keep Davion. He's like, oh, that's all good. I'll go get paid in Miami and go be on the beach instead of in the freezing cold. And he's kind of winning. So we'll see how that works out. But best of luck to everybody tonight. Like I said, appreciate everybody. Make sure you're subscribed to both my channel and Ty's channel, Straight Betting, up here on YouTube. Until we see y'all next. Happy betting.